Last time on Big Data and Brews, Supreet Oberi of Concurrent shares the advantages of their application framework cascading.
Not only improves the developer productivity, but it also makes the applications future-proof.
The impact of domain-specific languages.
The aim is that, again, as you said, that because it's like Lego blocks, and if I'm building, let's say, a house, can I provide a higher level of constructs like doors and windows?
And the issues of traditional enterprise warehouses.
Most of the enterprise data warehouses, despite the investments that are made very quickly, they end up hitting their peak capacity to support SLAs very quickly. Within a matter of, they plan for 4 years, it's happening in 2 years.
And now for more Big Data and Brews.
Welcome back to Big Data and Brews with Supreet from Concurrent Inc., the maker of cascading. Cheers.
Cheers.
You need a new one.
Well,
I have your magic stack here.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that.
My pleasure.
Let me open this for you. See? There you go.
Thank you.
Wait, do you
Yes.
recycle the other one?
Yeah.
We good at data recycling. We recycle code, we recycle beer. So let's talk a little bit about like your experience in the financial service industry.
Sure.
I think it's really fascinating because you've worked on some scale of big data deployments, and some people just dream about. How did you guys start? How did you make this all work, and where did you end up? I think you have hundreds of machines now, petabytes of data moving around, a lot of really cool LED blinking all night long in the big data center. But where did it start? Did it start with a couple, 3 machines, or did it start from the top, or did it start from the ground as a grassroots movement?
Definitely from the top. That an initiative requiring such a massive amount of redirection of energy and expenses, there was definitely not just a sponsorship but a strong championship, so all the way from the top. And the companies are realizing that even though they are not in a technology business, even if they're in the services business, financial transactions, whatever, hospitality, technology is the key differentiator that's going to help them, and big data is one of the key players. So there was a strong championship. And talking about the dimensions of scale, definitely the machines, the data, but the other 2 dimensions that had to be captured in scale were the number of programmers or the analysts doing analytics, and the number of use cases. So what are the number of applications? How do you develop a methodology for not just engaging 1 or 2 use cases, but dozens of use cases across fraud, marketing, operational risk, and that too in a regulated environment? How do you do things at scale where there's a lot of regulation? Those were some of the challenges that were there.
So where are you guys now, or where's your ex-employer now? Hundreds, thousands of machines, millions?
Can't say, but I mean,
it's big.
It's as big.
Boy, it's big.
It is. So the things that have been publicly announced, it is the biggest in its class, enterprise class, the biggest cluster. It has it broke the Terasort record as well. So really state-of-the-art machines.
Did you guys make, how do I think about a credit card company that runs a Terasort benchmark? You just like, hey guys, let's have a beer on the weekend, let's run the benchmark on all machines? Or?
It was... Well, I mean, the culture is definitely different than a hacker culture where such things come out. But
you guys have amazing smart people there.
Yes, and I would say that has to be the case for any enterprise company that has to seek a differentiation from becoming a data-driven company.
Yeah.
After all, why are we doing all this big data analytics? It is to develop smarter applications to help serve your core competency better. And there is no alternative in any company to not be a technically savvy company. In that company, there were president-level people taking 3 days off to attend Java programming classes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'd say that culture of coding being cool, it has arguably finally broken the Silicon Valley barrier, and it is becoming more mainstream.
Nice. I should submit my resume there. Maybe. So I think what I heard is that when you have senior level exec sponsorship and you really commit to the investment in hardware, in the data, but also into the people, then you will find success. Is it?
Yes. So
all it needs to be all in.
It needs to be all that and then some. So, for example, what does investment in people mean? If we end up training everybody to go from SQL, some in R and SAS to programming Java and MapReduce, that's not going to happen. You can't execute. Exposing them to a platform like what we did, the DataMia platform, helps them quickly. It helped them quickly visualize, discover. So one of the other things was, again going back to this, that if a model was developed on one data set, and now in the Hadoop platform, you have the capability to consolidate data assets across all information silos. There's not one enterprise data warehouse. They are, depending on the size, multiple. And now they have this, and they're all together. And what is the quickest way for me to start exploring the data? Like, what if instead of doing a join with this, I do a join with this and a join with this, and see if I get some more interesting insights. I can develop some better modeling on the behavior. They're giving them tools to quickly visualize, explore, prototype, do those kind of things. That was a very big factor in enabling us to scale and making this from a niche early adopter platform. It went from an early adopter to an enterprise platform in less than 12 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And those were some of the things we had to do, and DataMia played an extremely big part of that.
Thank you. Do you want to say for which company you work now? So what, appreciate that. Thank you. What are some of those challenges that you think are specific to financial services that you guys had to overcome? Right? Was there like encryption, or I guess a lot of personal identifiable information? What if someone in the financial services thinks about, okay, I want to go for this Hadoop thing. What are the things that you think are important to keep in mind?
Yes, I would say not specific to financial services, but specific to regulated industries. Each time a doctor gets involved, or each time money gets exchanged, right? Those are the two places, whether it's real estate or something else.
Yeah.
So the big challenge is, let's say if I was developing a model in a SaaS platform. In a SaaS platform, I can look at a model, very easy to understand language. I can look at all the variables in the system, and I can say, well, this variable looks like zip code. From zip code, I can derive customer demographics and tell me all the models that it's been used in. Those kind of questions today cannot be answered with absolute certainty in the big data ecosystem.
Right.
And that's one of the value propositions that, again, to make a pitch towards cascading, by using a common fabric that captures all the metadata and the signals associated with a query, one could address those questions. But it's not a matter of encrypting. For example, I could be allowed to use a zip code to improve customer satisfaction. I could be allowed to use age to improve a use case that involves serving the customer better. But I definitely cannot use those two variables to determine whether I should lend to you or not.
Yeah, okay.
So that makes it even a more complex challenge.
So if I'm 12 years old,
I still want to make you happy, but maybe not a credit card.
Is there a legal age in the US when you get allowed to get a credit card? I wonder. Yeah, I think so. In Germany, there is. Yeah, in Germany, you're not allowed to get a credit card. before age 16.
Even if it's a dependent of a...
Yeah, I think so. There's something. But hey, you can drink with 16, you know.
And then those suckers or knickers, whatever you were saying, they start at 6 months. So, yeah.
In one of the biggest challenges that you had in your previous jobs with the Hadoop platform, where did you say, boy, I wish really Hadoop would do a better job here?
In terms of the Hadoop platform, one of the constant screening matches I used to witness was that there's a job. It's been developed, works fine. Let's say it has X numbers of hours of SLA. It needs to finish in 12 hours. It's based on some, let's say, again, I'm making up a use case, like a marketing campaign. So it's deployed in production. The marketing campaign takes off. There's a lot of people joining it. And there's some part of the equation which becomes very time consuming to process so that the SLAs start getting missed. So the big discussion or the loud discussion that happens is, where's the problem?
Right.
The application developers would say, I need more infrastructure. The infrastructure people will say, well,
your code
sucks. And there is no objective way to instrument in a distributed. MapReduce is extremely, unless it's not built on a platform, it's by natively, the only visibility I have is how much time did a job take to run. That is a challenge that needs to be managed better. We talked about the governance and the compliance. And the third one is ultimately in a regulated industry, it goes through a regulator. So regulators like to be shown or proven that you didn't use unfavorable or illegal signals to make a decision. But when you start using machine learning algorithms, he looked like that. He paid his bill, so he must pay his bill too. And why do you look like that? I don't know. The machine took it out, right? So
it was that machine, Server 23.
Yes, they said it won't work out. They'll pay their bills. But I'm not too sure if it's a technical answer, if it's a legal answer. But there's a lot of benefit that can come from more advanced algorithms. I'm not a data scientist, but whether it's healthcare, whether it's financial, all the regulated cases, machine learning is not incredibly easy to prove a hypothesis. And those are the places where it's being held back, even though it can improve the outcome in many cases.
What are the technologies that you see on coming up that you're really excited about in the ecosystem?
Well,
besides
one's from Concurrent and Datamia.
Like general themes, right? So the streaming or the in-memory or kind of the graph optimization. I don't know. What's the things that you're really excited about? Yes.
So the things that really excite me, I would almost move one level higher. We have been focused, if I go to a strata, it's still focused very much at a system level. Here's yet another way to do analytics. I think we are within 6 to 18 months to start seeing either new vendors or existing vendors using big data to become smart, existing technologies. For example, CRM. CRM has a big play. For example, I bet on prospects closing 80% in my typical CRM application. There's a lot of intelligence that can be developed in that. So going one level higher and looking at existing CRM applications, ERP applications, and making them smarter through big data analytics and seeing them in a packaged form. That is a place where I'm most excited about. Over the last 2 years, I got a chance to evaluate multiple, what I call as machine learning in a box vendors. The thing was, I have this algorithm, it's the best algorithm ever, right? But algorithms are so dependent on the use case and the data set that they can't stand by themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm sure they have the best algorithms, but applied for a sales automation, for a marketing campaign, And that's where the real lift will come, and that's where I'd say that's the part what I'm really looking forward to.
So the data-driven applications.
Data-driven applications, and from there a data-driven business that comes out.
So let's switch topics here a little bit. What's your role at Concurrent?
My role in Concurrent is field engineering encompasses activities, of course, the technical evangelization, supporting deployments of customers, definitely pre-sales, supporting and integrating with partners as well, and helping third-party applications use the cascading and the driven, which is a commercial product, to be successful. So I'm really excited about that role. Yes.
And what's the from the ones you can talk about, the most fun use case, the most fun company? So it's known that Twitter and Etsy are using cascading heavily, and I think Prismatic is using the Casa log or something. Where did you saw the technology used, and you're just like, wow, this is awesome, what are you guys doing?
Definitely the scale aspect of it. When I'm seeing multiple thousands of nodes running production jobs, not missing the SLAs, because they've been, of multiple reasons, not just one. One of them being that they're built on a platform that makes your jobs very predictable, very deterministic. That really amazed me. And then looking a few months out in the future, not just with the driven, but cascading captures a lot of signals, and those signals are now being exposed through the driven platform. And I really believe that a lot of challenges that we discussed today can be addressed through those signals that are being captured, and address some of the problems which my previous worlds had. So I'm pretty excited about that.
So maybe even the meta layer where cascading learns from cascading to do a better cascading job in the future.
Yes.
From like
exactly.
All the metrics you collect in driven, and then make smart decisions moving forward.
Exactly. Make smart decisions moving forward, even starting from something simple like data lineage. That if you're an analyst,
you have to report that, right?
You have to report that, and you're not allowed to use a variable, but 70% of your bonus is based on getting a lift. You might just change a variable a little bit here and there, mask it, and then end up using. I mean, regulators are worried.
I never worked in the financial services.
No, neither did I. It's like that's what regulators want to say, right? Regulators, in that world, you assume guilty until proven innocent. So all kinds of accusations are thrown at you, and you have to prove it otherwise. And by using this cascading fabric, you can trace the lineage of any data element from the beginning to the end. And that's a very powerful value to be made as well.
So I think it's fascinating being on the other side. Well, welcome to our side, to the side of technology vendors.
I have some fond memories of the friends and memories I have on that side, but it's great to be back on the right side.
Tell me, how was it? What was your observation? And I'm sure it must be absolutely fascinating in the position you was at that really big credit card company. I'm sure you saw a million technology vendors.
Yes.
What's some of the most interesting observations you had?
Yes. So not only did I see a lot of vendors, but I had been in sales calls before being part of the entrepreneurial play, and I thought I knew what a good sales call was.
Okay.
So the lessons that I learned were that, number one, the decision to engage or not, it's made by the time you hit the second or third slide.
Okay.
So there are certain checks that are going on mentally if they have the laptops open. Again, sorry for giving out your tribal secrets.
Yeah.
But it's also to save their time. The first check is, are you credible enough?
Yeah.
Credibility comes not only from the background, but have you solved the problem before? Have you do you even understand what a problem is? Getting that pulse, that has to be hit very quickly. Secondly, are you smart enough? Again, that's a double-edged sword. The sword, not only do you have to show that you're competent, but you also have to show you're hungry and humble to work and give a solution.
Yeah.
That call that's happening, it's not for a product, it's for a solution.
Right, and you're part of that. as an entrepreneur, as a technology person.
That's right. A lot of times, by the time people end up raising the money and doing great in school, they walk in with a certain amount of hubris. So they might do a check on the smartness thing. They might do a check on great technology that was used at some Google-like place, and now it's coming out. But it's a veto. It's like, is that technology and the team? Unlike IT companies, the good news is, unlike traditional analytics companies, enterprise IT is now very open to working with entrepreneurs, but working with those kind of things are very, very valid. So great examples that, for example, where I saw a sales call go extremely bad. Company comes with machine learning in a box. And the question is, well, why do you believe that your algorithms are better than the algorithms we have? And the answer came with matter of fact that we have better scientists.
We are smarter than you.
We are smarter than you in a sales call.
Fail. Was that the moment where like 50% of all people dropped out of the WebEx?
That's right. Like hang up. And then yes, so that's the big takeaway. Come in with a value proposition, solution, humility, and it's a great opportunity to become great companies. And Datamium, in my experience, did that for 2 years, which is why I was such a big champion of yours.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your support.
Yeah. No. It was a win-win.
I'm very happy you went to Concurrent, my favorite other big data company. Your favorite technology book in the last 12 months? I still
hit the Donald Knuth. It's a classic.
Yeah.
But I still hit it once a while.
Okay.
Most recently, reading some booklets coming out of Ted Dunning. He does a fantastic job evangelizing the potential of machine learning, and I really like that too. And my favorite book for the next 3 months will be something on Scala, I'm sure.
Okay, so Scala is the new language for you?
I think so. It is. Yeah. It is not only because of the potential, not only because of many marquee customers of Concurrent, but we've started hearing about Scala being used outside technology powerhouses as well. Many of these technology companies which had gotten a little, not technology, but IT companies, IT organizations that had gotten a little behind in keeping their edges sharp. They're trying to leapfrog the whole Java world by going straight there too.
To Scala, yeah.
So I don't know. It's definitely very interesting, and I would like to.
I have this belief you only have so many types you can do in your life as a software developer, right? We're typing so much, and Scala is really good for the ergonomy tree because you have to write so little code. But then on the other hand side, like the domain-specific languages, they go a little bit too far. You don't write much code anymore, but you know, it's I think you can, you know, it's a little bit too much here.
Too much. Well,
but Scala seems to be really getting a lot of traction. So a couple years ago, you know, a lot of companies had scalability or you know, availability problems with like very random Scala bugs, but that seems we really seem to get over the bump there.
And it seems to have again crossed that threshold of being a niche technology as well. So it has reached that tipping point where there's a lot of belief in mainstream technology vendors as well that may be the way to go.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by. People, check out Cascading, check out Scala, and come back for our next Big Data and Brews. Cheers.
Cheers.